India is moving away from the era of passive, non-aligned diplomacy. Today, New Delhi is signaling a transition toward a foreign policy dictated by immediate national interest and a willingness to respond to international adversaries. This shift is evident in India's energy procurement. Despite international pressure and existing trade tariffs, India continues to source thick crude oil from Venezuela, prioritizing its own market stability and energy security over the demands of global powers. This pragmatism is now being applied to a specific regional rival, Turkey. Under its current leadership, Ankara is attempting to re-establish the influence once held by the Ottoman Empire, positioning itself as a new leader for the Islamic world. To build this influence, Turkey has sought out strategic alignments beyond its own borders, forming a close partnership with Pakistan. For India, this partnership has manifested as direct diplomatic friction. Turkey has repeatedly used international forums to back Pakistan's claims on Kashmir, challenging India's internal policies and the status of Article 370. More recently, Turkey has begun expanding its footprint in Bangladesh. By funding defense education and investing in local radicalization networks, Ankara is establishing presence along India's eastern border. A direct military response to Turkey is geographically impractical. To counter these moves, India has identified an asymmetric vulnerability far from South Asia, a strategic leverage point that forces Ankara to focus on its own neighborhood. That leverage point is the island nation of Cyprus. The island has been a site of tension since 1974, when a Turkish invasion led to a physical division of the country. Turkey continues to occupy northern Cyprus, a territory recognized only by Ankara. Because the Republic of Cyprus remains in direct opposition to this occupation, the island represents Turkey's primary diplomatic and security concern in the Mediterranean. India has now intervened in this dynamic. By hosting the President of Cyprus and formalizing a strategic partnership, New Delhi is committing to a long-term diplomatic and security alignment with Turkey's immediate neighbor. The resulting agreements establish a framework for cooperation in search and rescue, cybersecurity, and counterterrorism, areas where the two nations now share a direct operational link. More importantly, the deal includes a military export component. Cyprus is moving to procure Indian-made drones and missiles, the same systems India recently deployed against Pakistan during Operation Sindoor. India is now exporting the same hardware it developed to counter Pakistan directly into Turkey's local sphere of influence, forcing Ankara to recalibrate its regional priorities. This maneuver aligns with a parallel effort by Israel. Both nations appear to be working in close tandem to address regional radical networks that threaten their respective security interests. The timing suggests a coordinated approach. On May 20th, Israel issued a public denunciation of Turkey, labeling the nation a hostile entity. Only 4 days later, on May 24th, India finalized its defense and strategic deal with Cyprus. The proximity of these two actions point toward a synchronized strategy between India and Israel to exert simultaneous pressure on Turkish influence from multiple directions. This arms deal adds a layer of military concern for Turkey in its own backyard. As Cyprus strengthens its defenses with Indian hardware, Ankara is forced to divert diplomatic and material attention toward the Mediterranean, limiting its capacity to act as a primary backer for Pakistan. This shift leaves Pakistan isolated. Without its Mediterranean partners' support and fewer external military resources, Islamabad must face its escalating internal challenges. Groups like the Balochistan Liberation Army have intensified their operations, targeting domestic infrastructure and destabilizing key transport links. These groups have gained significant firepower by acquiring American military equipment left behind during the 2021 withdrawal from Afghanistan, complicating Pakistan's internal security operations. Facing multi-front internal instability, Pakistan's ability to project force across its own borders is increasingly strained by the need to secure its own infrastructure and maintain domestic order. By leveraging the Mediterranean as a pressure point, India has implemented a strategy of asymmetric encirclement to secure regional stability. This is achieved not through direct conflict, but by ensuring its adversaries must prioritize defending their own interests.